The door clicked shut behind me, and immediately, I knew something was wrong. The house was too quiet. Not the kind of quiet you get when someone's asleep or out, but the heavy, suffocating kind, the kind that makes the air feel thick, like a storm about to break. Her shoes were by the door. Her coat was on the rack. She was home. "Claire?" I called, my voice bouncing off the walls of our hallway. No answer. I dropped my briefcase on the floor, kicked off my shoes, and walked in further. And then I saw her, standing in the living room, in front of the big window that overlooked our street. Her hands were crossed over her stomach, fingers twisted together like they were clinging to something invisible. She didn't turn to look at me. "Claire?" I said again, softer this time. She finally moved, just her head, just slightly, and whispered, "There's something you need to know." The words didn't hit me all at once. They slid into the room like a cold draft, curling around my spine. I walked closer, cautiously, like I might scare her off if I moved too fast. "What is it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She finally turned. Her eyes were red, puffy, as if she'd been crying for hours. And the strangest thing, there was no guilt in them. Just resignation. "We need to talk," she said, and those words, God, how I'd come to hate them. It had been a rough couple of months for us. Work had me on edge, long hours at the firm, and she'd been distant. Always on her phone. Always just tired. I thought it was stress. Maybe depression. I tried to be patient. We were married. You ride the waves. You don't jump ship at the first storm. But now, standing there, seeing her like that, my stomach twisted with something I didn't want to name. "Just tell me," I said. She sat down on the couch, and I joined her, the cushion between us like a chasm. "I've been seeing someone," she whispered. There it was. Simple. Quiet. Like she was telling me we were out of milk. For a moment, the world stopped making sense. My ears rang. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was a mistake, a cruel joke. But her eyes didn't flinch. "How long?" My voice didn't sound like mine. 6 months, she said. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of kisses I thought were real, of nights where she turned away, saying she was tired. "Who?" I asked. She hesitated. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me." Her lips pressed into a thin line. "It's someone from work." "Of course. It's always someone from work, isn't it? That place she stayed late for, the one she said I never understood." I stood up, because sitting felt like suffocating. I walked to the window, stared out at the street. Kids were riding bikes. Mrs. Henderson across the road was watering her plants. The world kept moving, like it didn't just collapse in here. "Why?" I asked finally. "What did I do wrong?" She looked up, and her eyes softened, like she pitied me. That hurt more than the confession. "It wasn't about you," she said. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far." Didn't mean for it to go this far. As if cheating was a slip of the tongue. I turned back to her, feeling something cold settling in my chest. "So what now? You tell me this, and what? I'm supposed to forgive you? Pretend it didn't happen?" She shook her head. "I'm not asking for that. I just couldn't keep lying. I think I want to leave." The words didn't just land. They detonated. Leave. Not fix. Not try. Not fight. Just leave. The rest of the night was a blur of broken sentences and silent tears. I didn't shout. I didn't break anything. I wanted to scream, to demand why the hell she threw everything away, but I didn't. Because, deep down, I knew this wasn't a sudden decision for her. She'd been gone for months. Her body was here, her smile sometimes too, but her heart it had left quietly, while I was busy paying bills and planning our next vacation. I slept, if you could call it that, on the couch. The same couch where she had just confessed to tearing our vows apart. I stared at the ceiling until the night gave up and turned into a dull, gray morning. The following days were worse. She moved into the guest room. Said she'd start looking for a place. I went to work like a machine, my colleagues asking if I was okay, me nodding like a puppet. At night, we barely spoke. It was like living with a polite stranger. But here's the thing no one tells you about betrayal. It's not the act itself that kills you. It's the memories. The way her head used to rest on my shoulder during movies. The text she used to send, miss you. Be safe. The plans we made. The stupid inside jokes. They all turned to ghosts, haunting you, mocking you. I started questioning everything. That trip to her sister's last spring. Was it really her sister's? Those late nights at work, was she really working? Every "I love you." Was it just habit? You go mad like that. Slowly. Quietly. A week later, she handed me an envelope. It's from him, she said, her voice small. I didn't take it at first. Just stared. She placed it on the table and left. I opened it. It wasn't a letter, just a note. She deserves to be happy. I can make her happy. That was it. No name. No apology. Just a declaration from a man who had been sleeping with my wife while I paid the mortgage and cooked her favorite pasta on Sundays. That was the first time I felt real anger. Not the numb, hollow ache. Real, burning anger. I confronted her that night. Is this him? I asked, holding up the note. She nodded. You really think he'll make you happy? I think he understands me in a way you don't anymore. That cut deeper than anything. I didn't shout. I didn't beg. I just said, then go. But don't expect me to wait. And for the first time in months, I saw fear in her eyes. Wait, she echoed. For you to change your mind, I said. For you to realize this was a mistake. The next morning, she packed. Not all at once, a few bags, her essentials. Said she'd come back for the rest. I watched her leave without a word. No dramatic goodbye. No tearful embrace. Just a door closing softly behind her. And then silence. Real silence this time. The kind that wraps around you like a shroud. It's been 3 months now. I filed for divorce 2 weeks after she left. It was cleaner that way, no lawyers tearing us apart piece by piece, just 2 signatures and a quiet end. She sent a few messages since, asking if I was okay, if I needed anything. I didn't reply. I see her sometimes, through mutual friends' social media. Smiling. With him. It used to burn. Now it just stings like an old scar when it rains. I'm not okay yet, but I'm getting there. I started going to the gym again. Joined a hiking group. I'm learning to cook more than just pasta. And the house? It's starting to feel less like a crime scene and more like mine again. Betrayal doesn't come with fireworks. It comes quietly, in late-night texts and tired excuses, in silence over dinner and kisses that start to feel obligatory. I look back now and see the signs I missed. The way her eyes drifted during conversations, the sudden new perfume, the girls' nights that never quite added up. I don't hate her. I think, in some strange way, she did what she thought was right for her. But I will never forget that night. Coming home to my wife, standing silent. The whisper that cracked my world open. There's something you need to know. And the slow, painful realization that love, no matter how much you give, is never a guarantee it will stay. Some nights, I still wake up expecting to hear her footsteps in the hallway. But then I remember, I'm free. Free to heal. Free to rebuild. Free to love again, one day, without the shadow of her betrayal darkening the doorway. And maybe that's the strangest part, that freedom feels nothing like I thought it would. It's not relief. It's not joy. It's quiet. And for now, that's enough.